when you elect somebody to office, they are not just themselves.
Yeah.
If they're president, for instance, they bring in, they have tens of thousands of appointees that they end up bringing into the government. And they all come from the constituencies that president represents. I'm just using the president, but this is true of the mayor. This is true of any executive branch largely. And to the extent that you, when you elect lawmakers, they also have constituencies. Now, it's not down to the person, but they are very conscious of who they have to keep within their coalition. Sometimes they're wrong. Sometimes they end up losing the 2024 election as to like what members of their coalition can they afford to lose, or what trade-offs do they need to make. And this is relevant because the way that people govern very often, no, it's not one-to-one, very often they know they have to represent their constituencies. Here is Rod Dreher, the crunchy conservative. You remember this guy, Matt?
Yeah, like very strange guy.
Like a hippie libertarian, serious Catholic. I can't remember all of his trajectories.
Goes deep.
There's some weird stuff there that's been weird over the years. But he's here. He is. I really enjoy this because it's both this is what like a humble brag is. Like I know, I can't tell you. I know exactly what J.D. Vance's real beliefs are. I can't tell you exactly what he said, but I can tell you enough to make it seem like I am sort of an intimate with him.
There are a lot of people that claim to be friends with J.D.
But
Vance.
I think this is quite true, and we've seen examples of this, and it is good to hear it spelled out. This is Rod Dreher on the Unheard podcast with Freddie Sayers.
I went to see him in his house when I was in Washington.
Talking about J.D. Vance. Go ahead.
I went to see him in his house when I was in Washington because I wanted to plead with him as a fellow Christian. He's a serious Catholic, and I'm the Orthodox Christian. I said, you got to say something. You can't let this guy get away with it. Now, I'm not going to say what his response was, but I will say that he hates Fuentes. It's clear. Fuentes has gone after his wife, Usha, who is of Indian descent. He's called her a Jeet and condemned JD as a race mixer. So JD has no love for Fuentes, but I think it's fair to say that JD does understand intuitively, because he's 41 years old, he understands the crisis that these young men are facing. He understands that they have been unfairly targeted by the woke left that have taken over all the institutions of American life and for the past 15 years or so. And I think he must be trying to figure out a way to speak to them in a positive way, to acknowledge their grievances, the legitimate ones, but to lead them away from this racist loony.
Okay. Now, incidentally, that's exactly the argument that Roberts made, who's the head of the Heritage Foundation, who is on the hot seat right now because of his video coming out. Understand, this is, one, it shows you that Vance is working hand in hand with Kevin Roberts at Heritage. All three of these guys, incidentally, are on some form or another Christian nationalists. And the idea that Vance is going to lead them away from Nick Fuentes, or that Kevin Roberts is going to lead these wayward men who have had to deal with like the anti-white discrimination, anti-male, anti-white discrimination.
Institutions captured by people that are okay with race mixing.
Exactly. And secularism or not, let's say, religious imposed doctrine as the way to live their lives. The idea that they're going to lead them away is obviously just a story. It is their way of justifying kissing his ass so they get that constituency. But understand, you don't get that constituency and then just say, I'm going to walk away from it.
Right. And the leading away element would have to mean that they're there hasn't been progress from Fuentes' side in normalizing himself within the very institutions that are important within the Republican Party. You have the Heritage Foundation, but you also have shows like Tucker Carlson having him on and then saying, we're going to put differences aside here because I thought you were an op. No, I thought you were an op. And we'll come together on our shared Christian nationalism. Whatever the Republicans are doing, Vance included in this, is participating in normalizing him, not leading him away from anybody. And Nick Fuentes, I think really since the Charlie Kirk killing, by the way, where we still don't know fully what the motives were with the shooter. We don't it doesn't seem like he was a groyper in particular, but the groypers had been in the past targeting Charlie Kirk, and perhaps Fuentes is thinking like it easily could have been or something like that.
Well, also, he's gotten the red carpet treatment from all the media that see him as a replacement for Charlie.
But he has an off-ramp, right? Like we've talked about Fuentes getting into this Nazi crap when he was quite young, and how do you get out of that box into a more mainstream area? And he has been given the red carpet, as you say, Matt, to do that. Up to the vice president allowing a guy like this to insult his wife repeatedly and not say boo about it because they're more concerned with capturing that constituency. So the result is normalizing his ideas and normalizing what he's offering, not the other way around.
But it just gives you a notion of at least like what the internal thinking is and how Vance thinks he's going to appeal to the groypers. And who knows how big the groyper, I mean, that's the other thing, is that like, the idea that there are tens of millions of these disaffected, young white men, I think is overblown. And in many respects, we're starting to see the polling. A lot of these people are just like, they're half out of touch with anything political, and now they just don't like Trump. They're certainly disaffected. But if you wanted to reach these people and wanted to cast them aside, wanted them to cast aside Nick Fuentes, why wouldn't you address them and also criticize Fuentes? Like, if that's the plan, right? If the plan is to sort of like go in, let's say, for instance, like we wanted to steal TYT's audience.
Just a theory.
Yeah. We want to steal their audience. We would go in and appeal to we would have to start to appeal to people who, think there's a lot of crime or something, or
we might have to start screaming more.
Screaming more, but also
have to do a throat
appeal
coat
to
run.
crime and, the injustice of what's happening in women's sports, which of course is a huge topic. And then we'd also address those things, but say that, TYT has sold out those constituencies. And we're actually, defending, like, J.D. Vance is in no way doing anything to combat Fuentes. All he's doing, and
is
the
throwing
rest
his
of them
wife
doing,
under the bus.
and like
supporting
Kevin
Nick more than his
Roberts
wife.
was basically saying, like, we're not going to shut these people out of the conversation.
But you don't get it. He's de-radicalizing all of these young men by allowing their favorite streamer to use a racial epithet against his wife and not saying anything about it. That's how you de-radicalize, is you lay over and you show your belly to the Nazi.
Or the other strategy you could have if you're J.D. Vance and you want to appeal to young people is to show you're cool and funny.
You fight charisma with charisma.
Yeah, you get up there and this is what I would do. Like, I want to go up there, I'm going to do something that's going to I'm going to show people I can be funny. Like, I have like this kind of like attitude of like, hey man, guess who's not going to not upset the apple cart? This guy. Check it out.
That is a uniquely American thing. That's why, for example, we have You know, turkey. Think about turkey. Who really likes, be honest with yourselves, who really likes turkey?
Me.
You're all full of shit. Everybody who raised your hands. I know. Think about it. And here's how I know that every single one of you who raised your hand is lying to me. How many times do you roast an 18-pound turkey just randomly? Just, you know, a nice summer afternoon, we're going to go get an 18-pound turkey.
How often do you have 18 people over for dinner?
Yeah.
Nobody does it because turkey doesn't actually
Hey,
taste
let 'em
that
cook.
good. But on Thanksgiving, on the most American holiday, I got a fan over here. On the most American holiday,
A crowd work.
we are going to cook a turkey, by God, because that's what Americans do. We cook this gigantic American bird, and we do all kinds of crazy things to make it taste good. I talked to a soldier today, who she said she's going to deep fry a turkey, and I'm actually going to deep fry a turkey myself tomorrow. And look, here's the thing. If you've got to deep fry something to make it taste good, it probably isn't that good.
But don't
There's the
deep
punch.
fry
Pretty good rule
it.
of thumb when it comes to food.
Oh my God, I can't
No,
take the rest of this.
I don't want to argue whether the turkey is tasty or not.
I do. Gravy,
what-
and turkey. Are you joking? Dark meat? What?
Well, but the idea, like, who's randomly roasting an 18-pound turkey? Well, you do that because there's a lot of people getting together, and I presume you also cook, like, if you're doing Christmas, you cook a bigger ham than you usually would. But the guy's not funny. He just he wanted to basically just go like, I'm a rebel, man.
Because Trump can riff. Trump can like riff, and people respond to it. It's not much better, but it's like, oh, he's saying what comes into his mind.
This is exactly like
Trump
I'm
riff,
just,
this
I'm
is
just, I'm,
rehearsed.
I'm doing the weave like Trump did.
He made
Yeah.
his
just I say
aides.
turkey. It just occurs to me like, who's really doing?
Oh, I'm a wacky I got these
But
turkey opinions.
here's the other thing that's just sort of like crazy. He's fallen into George W. Bush territory here.
Yes.
Does he realize it? Because he's going like, we don't like turkey. We just go and kill this American bird and then cook it because that's what it is to be an American. This is like George W. Bush going
Right.
like, oh, look at that. She's got 3 jobs, uniquely American.
Right.
Like, we're gonna do
when I
something.
think of American
Listen,
bird, I think
listen.
of the bald eagle, and not anyway.
I'm just gonna take my testicles and smash them with a hammer because I'm American, and that's what we do. Yeah, it hurt. Yes, sure, it hurts, but that's what we're American. I'm gonna make a meal for 18 people that we know doesn't taste good, and we're doing it because that's what it is to be an American.
This guy, $100,000 in debt, doesn't even have a job.
We're gonna-
Uniquely American.
We're gonna shove this down your throat, even though it doesn't taste good, because it's American.
As somebody who's bombed a lot in his life, I recognize he had a bomb trigger where he goes, I got a fan over here.
That guy over there.
Where he
That guy
acknowledged
gets it.
the one guy laughing
This
at
guy's
him.
with me, isn't he? He's with me.
I
over
started
here.
to sweat when he did that because I have like PTSD.
Yeah. Also, you never got a turkey BLT, turkey club.
The thing is, when I go to Katz's, which is not often because it's like $30 a sandwich, but it's a turkey sandwich.
They're huge. You can eat
Yeah.
them for 3 days.
Right,
though.
that's true.
the other
But
thing.
I'm just picturing him making all his aides and staffers listen to him go over this bit and then like politely laughing. And he's like, oh, this is going to kill for the
is gonna
troops.
kill
I
the
get the troops. I am a troop.
Now, here's the other thing. I don't know if you're picking up on this, but he is also in anticipation, because this is going to be a 2.5 year process, and I'm quite sure we're going to hear people talking about how he's code switching. But he is ramping up his hillbilly accent.
Yeah, I know. Did you say that? I know.
And he really, that's where he fumbled a little bit. Like where he's like, he's still trying to figure it out, trying to get it more comfortable. Come on, man, you're full of shit, man. Turkey, you like turkey? Come on.
Oh, and back to also just the Fuentes thing. If you recall, there were leaked messages of J.D. Vance calling Trump Hitler back in 2017, 2016, something like that. And instead of, working to de-radicalize all of the fans of the person who he referred to as Hitler, he ended up joining the presidential ticket. And now the administration is further right than ever. If we want a roadmap as to how effective J.D. Vance is at co-opting movements.
Hey, man, I'm tearing them down from the inside.
Or if you can't beat them, join them.
Yeah, or
we got
that
a
too.
saying down the old dirt road.
Yeah, my
You can't beat 'em, join 'em.
grandpappy once told me if you can't beat them, join them. He was the first one to ever say that.
Also, remember at TPUSA, he was like, I hope my wife becomes Christian.
Yeah.
He's just selling out to Fuentes hard.
But that's it's Trump is Hitler, but he's going to co-opt the movement by joining it. Nick Fuentes is a Nazi. He's going to co-opt the movement by joining it. What's next? David Duke. I'm going to just bring them all in and de-radicalize them with the force of my charisma.
Hey, we got a big tent down at the county fair. we got room for
Big
everybody.
tent and it's a high top tent and there's a white tip at the very top of it.
Y'all saw that Usha Vance's spokesperson had to talk about why she didn't have a ring on her finger.
Well, why was that?
She's doing dishes apparently and forgot to put it back on.
Interesting.
Oh.
Right before a public event.
Usha Vance doesn't do dishes, so while the winner, this is a salon piece, there's also a people piece. But Usha Vance's spokesperson addresses marriage ring rumors after she's spotted without ring during outing with Melania Trump.
At public outing with Melania Trump, who she would be normally hanging out with. And
It's
just
probably okay, JD.
girling out with.
They probably didn't talk about anything.
Yeah, no, I'm sure there was. They wouldn't have complained.
I genuinely don't know what they have to talk about.
Just shared abuse.
Yeah, fair. But I just feel like Melania is more of the blank stare kind of chick.
You have to. She's like the person that puts a bag of chips on her head.
Hey, folks, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and check out our daily show. We do it every day at 12 p.m. Eastern for about 2.5 hours. We even take phone calls. You should check that out.